Hi, I'm Thomas Scott from Brand Journalist. I want to talk to you a little bit about the franchising social media event called FranCamp, a one-day camp-style social media session we held here in Nashville for people who work in the franchise industry, either on the franchisor side, as a franchisee, a master franchisee, or somebody who works as a vendor in the franchising industry. The first session was very much a success. We had great attendance. We had enormous Twitter feeds. We had very kind of high attendance on Ustream. By all accounts, was very successful, and there absolutely will be another FranCamp, likely in a city with more franchise systems closer to where you are. So let's talk a little bit about what our big takeaways. One of the reasons we wanted to do FranCamp was, as people who are in the franchise industry, there's lots of strategy sessions and big picture talks by people at IFA events and some of the other events in the industry. What's really not there is specific, like, this is how I do what I do, this is what works. What my friend Joe Matthews would say is giving the recipe away. So we carried a very specific set of presentations that focused on specific takeaways you could do. If you wanted to learn actually how to use Twitter and what's working in franchising, Jack Bonson from Engaged One-to-One gave a great session on that. If you wanted to understand the changes to websites and how content's used in franchise development and how that's radically changing lead generation if you're a franchise salesperson, we had a great session on the dramatic changes there. We talked a lot about blogging for business and how important having a website that's built around a blog is today, both to connect with consumers, to fuel social media, to drive organic SEO, and most importantly to generate franchise sales leads, which is something people are really struggling to do today. We had some guest speakers talk about organic SEO and again, fairly dramatic changes that Google's Panda update to the search algorithm has done, and opportunities that's created for franchise systems to leverage organic SEO. Like what worked last year or the year before doesn't really work that well this year. And at the same time, there's some new things you can do with your website, content, blogs, and social media that really drive online visibility. So we learned a lot about that. And if you're not doing a lot with that now, expect to be in 2012. I would say it's one of the top trends, is people really focusing more on content-driven sites and creating content to get visibility on organic search result pages. We talked a lot about Facebook and the changes, whether you should do local or national, and the consensus is usually the more local you can get your social media, the better the return on investment for franchisees. So doing just a national page or regional pages leaves something to be desired. There's a national audience for Facebook, and people will vote for your brand at the national level, but if you really want to drive repeat business and word of mouth, do it at the local level and give each franchisee their own Facebook page. That's the key to success on Facebook. Talked a lot about LinkedIn. Paul Segreto did a great presentation on, as a franchisor, how you should be using LinkedIn, both to look at people, to join groups, and all the kind of ins and outs related with there. Just one after another. We had BJ Emerson from Tasty Delight, who also sponsored the Tweet Up on Friday night, which was well attended. Talk a little bit about social loyalty programs, and if you don't know what that is, BJ is somebody that speaks often in the franchise industry, but social loyalty really is using your point of sale system to engage and incent your customers to drive word of mouth referrals. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, visit a Tasty Delight. You'll see the kind of very sophisticated system that they've developed to tap into customer social media platforms to spread leveraged coupons, and boy, really dramatic return on investment for that system there. But all in all, it was a very passionate, energetic group. We had over 1,100 tweets on the Saturday event with over 2.4 million Twitter impressions. So, that's a conversation that almost everybody in the franchise industry is trying to have. So look forward to the next one, and stay tuned on the Fran Social Camp, www.fransocialcamp.com, on the blog for updates and takeaways and more tips and tricks as we begin to announce the next one. Thanks so much.